I have a theory about CAD. The less you do, the quicker you can get it done. It makes sense when you think about it. It might even border in the line of being absurd. Of course, you're going to get done more quickly if you have less things to do. But that's the whole point of this little lesson right here. I call this one two-handed CAD theory. And I call this section CAD with both hands. Now, the gist of it is to use your left and right hand both at the same time while you CAD. Now, there are two major forms of input in AutoCAD. The mouse, you can see me moving my cursor around here. I'm doing that by moving the mouse. And then you have the keyboard, when I can type in lots of different things on the keyboard and get to a lot of different commands and things like that. So many old school CAD users grew up using CAD and DOS like I did. Now, we didn't have icons like these up here or these toolbars or all these palettes. We didn't have the application menu and all this. We had what was called the menu bar, which you could still get to. And we had the command line, which we still have, and you use keyboard inputs with that. And a lot of us even had a big giant tablet. And the tablet is where we had our toolbars and icons and our ribbon. It was right there. And we used a stylus or a puck, not a mouse. And all the commands were in a space on that tablet. And you had to move your cursor or you move your puck, your stylus onto that physical location and click, just like you do with AutoCAD right now, but you do it on the screen and not on an external real-life physical tablet. Now, the problems that gave was that you had to stop looking at the screen and look at your hand where you were going on the tablet. Now, eventually what happened is your body had this muscle memory so that you could move your puck or your stylus, whatever it was you were using, to the exact location for the command you wanted. Your body just remembered how far and where to move your arm at. That's kind of what I want to talk about now. You're going to get that by moving your mouse on your screen every day and all day long to get to all these different commands. Now, that's going to be great, and that's going to help you to become more efficient. When you have to stop hunting for the commands, you'll be able to find them more quickly, and so you'll be able to get your work done more quickly. Now, you can interface with CAD however you want to, in whatever way is most comfortable. That's one of the most beautiful things about AutoCAD. The bottom line is that you get your work done, and you get it done as quickly and as efficiently as you can. Now, in two-handed CAD, users take advantage of the command line and the mouse, both. So you can turn off your ribbon even, you can turn off all toolbars, all menus, all palettes, etc., and you can still get to every command in AutoCAD through the command line. I'm not suggesting that's what you do. In fact, I use a bit of a hybrid method myself. I typically keep the properties palette open all the time because when I select anything, it gives me all the information I need or can work with on that and can manipulate it that way. I also get to a lot of less frequently used commands through the ribbon, specifically when I'm annotating something or I'm using one of these manage options or I need to get to some views or maybe some express tools. But most of the time I keep it here on the Home tab. I want to show you how to draw a 5x5 box that we're going to draw in an isometric cube, a 5x5x5 cube. And I'm only going to use one hand. I'm going to use just the mouse. And you can do that. And that works and it gets the job done. I'm going to only input on the keyboard when I need to input the lengths or the size of the cube. So here we go. Come up to the Home tab, go to my rectangle command. I left click and I move back down here. So I'm going to pick a spot somewhere and I'm going to draw it as a 5x5 rectangle, which will be a square when I press enter. So now what I want to do, I just want to make a basic, real quick isometric. So now I'm going to use the copy command. Come up here, select the copy, come down here, select my box, right click for enter, pick a point, and I'm just going to move it just for movement's sake, and then press enter. So now I'm going to draw lines connecting all of these items here. So I go up to the line command. My O snaps are on, so that's good. That helps me save time. And I go there. Right click again, start the command again for the line. And there we go. See, nice and simple, not difficult to do, of course, but there was a lot of back and forth. So you see, I'm going back and forth and back and forth. Well, now I'm going to use two hands. So I'm going to type in REC for rectangle, 5x5, type in CP for copy, and then type in L for line, and there. So the biggest differences between these two methods was that on this method, when I'm just using my mouse and I'm using the ribbon, I'm going back and forth. back and forth, back and forth. Now, it really only takes another second to do that. So each time I had to do a command, I added 4 to 6 seconds to my drawing that I had to do. Well, here, because I didn't, and I can just typing in everything very quickly, I wasn't going back and forth. I never took my eyes off what I was drawing. It was much easier to concentrate. And I got it done just a fraction of a second more quickly. Yes, absolutely. However, that builds up over time. Throughout the course of a day, if you work 8 hours a day and you can save seconds on everything that you're doing, you can get that much more done and you can work more efficiently. Now, every command in AutoCAD has a keyboard equivalent. Some are long, like data extraction or data link, or a lot of these other big ones. But some of them are really short, like the line command. Just type in L. I don't expect you to memorize the keyboard shortcut for every command. That's just absurd. You can print out a list that's in the PGP file. If you go to your Manage tab and go to the Customization panel, and you see the Edit Aliases option right here, click on that. That will open up a text file that opens up your acad.pgp file. It'll open it up in Notepad. If you scroll down here all the way to the bottom past all these semicolons, you'll see here a list of all the command shortcuts. So 3A is a command shortcut for 3D array. And you see some of these aren't really shortcuts, but there are ways to get to other old archived commands. You see A is for arc, AC is for faction, ADC is for your AD center, etc. We'll scroll down through this list and you can see there are quite a few. So you could print this out actually, and I know people that have. So you can study it a little bit and find the commands that you want to use more effectively. You can also customize this list too. Now, another great thing about AutoCAD is that as you start to type something out, if you have dynamic input on, it will start to auto-populate these lists. It'll even auto-correct some of your misspellings. So if you've misspelled something, that'll put it in there for you. And then you can just click on the command from that list. If you have dynamic input turned off, it'll do the exact same thing in the command line for you. And just remember, try to use both hands as much as possible to help you speed up your work. Moving the mouse all over the screen takes a lot of time and effort. Now, when you get really good with typing on the keyboard with just one hand, you'll be able to move much more quickly. This is something that's going to take some time. That will have to help you to get more comfortable with it, absolutely, because it might be a different way than what you're used to working with. And if you're not very good at keyboard typing, it might not be quicker for you, and that's okay. Again, use AutoCAD to the best of your ability in however method is more comfortable to you. This is one that I have found that works well for me, and I know it works well for other people as well, and I suggest it's something you try to do.